Remember, Isaiah talks about the plumb line. This is lineal. This is the level. And all a builder needs is a piece of string, a level, and a plumb line. And he can put up his building. Needs nothing else. That is as far as measurements are concerned. You can use that string to measure from here to there, go there and cut the piece of wood and put it up. We don't need all these fancy. And if we don't have a level, very simple. Get a glass of water, hold it up, turn the glass this way. Does the water go down or does it stay this way? That's a level. That's a level. And your string with a bob on the bottom and a piece of stone or whatever you have is a plumb line. It's all you need. We don't need all these fancy tools. And this is the way we build ourselves. Now, if we look at the bones, the bones should be the primary starters, motors. Primary, not the heart, not the brain, but the bones. But today, it's our flesh, and we follow the flesh. Bones. Is it any wonder we touch bones, and that spinal column better? They call it the vertebral column, because I don't want it to be a spine or a thorn in my side any longer. That vertebral column is the tree of life. And it is segmented, made up in many small pieces. And these little pieces must fit one above the other in perfection. But those bones are what we consider the hard wiring in a computer. Now in between, would it be here, and my little fingers here, or the bones of the spine, or the vertebral column, are little discs. And they're made of what we call cartilage, better known in the old popular vocabulary, the soft bone. But that's a good word. That's the software. Now you have a computer. That computer can do only what it is wired to do, and nothing more. But it has a compartment where you can stick in, even though it's a hard disk, we call it software. And then now the computer, with its hardware, and the information it gets from that software, gives you a variety. But from where do we get this variety? Do we get it from the vertical or the lineal? Lineal, my dear people, the lineal. Lineal. And this is where all the mythology comes. Right here. Right here. And those little people, the leprechauns, the dwarfs, right there. So when we cannot understand ourselves, we use Mother Earth as an example, and we parallel it with that. Now we look at Mother Earth, we see that there are two poles. One called the true pole, or north. Then we have another one called the magnetic north. And that's like taking a clock. Even though the mechanism inside remains the same, but you can take the face of the clock and turn it in an advanced stage. Now we're in trouble. But the trouble of necessity, the trouble of breaking down. Why do we call 2000 the 21st century? Are we doing things today for the future of yesterday? Will we know every move eventually when that clock comes back to where it should be? Yeah. And this is why we will live in what is considered the promised land. Promised land is heaven. There is no winter in heaven. There are only 3 seasons in heaven: spring, summer, autumn. Not fall, but autumn. And then spring again. And that's the mental. The mental. And this is where we want to go. Now, Brian brings up the good movies here. He brought up a movie called Harvey. Look at it. And I like the part where the psychiatrist is lying on the couch and Jimmy Stewart is talking to him. And the psychiatrist wants to know, who is this guy Harvey? And Jimmy says, well, nobody can see him, but I can. He's a rabbit. And this is the part I love, because this was it. He tells the psychiatrist, you know what Harvey can do? He can stop the clock. And we can live in that spot when he stops the clock. And when he makes the clock go again, we feel as if we have lost nothing.